What if you're already standing on gold? Let me ask you something strange and uncomfortable. What if everything you've been searching for is already under your feet? What if the opportunity you're praying for, the change, the wealth, the impact, is not out there, but right where you are? Most people won't even consider this because it's more exciting to chase the distant than to confront the familiar. It's easier to dream about the future than to master the moment in front of you. But I've seen it again and again. Men leave marriages looking for connection when the connection was buried under years of neglect. Women abandon careers looking for meaning when meaning was hiding in the impact they stopped recognizing. Entrepreneurs burn down their business for freedom when freedom was sitting quietly beneath discipline. We are trained to believe opportunity is elsewhere. But what if that's the trap? What if the gold rush is here and you've been walking over it blindfolded? Your job, your pain, your failure, your boredom, all of it might be the exact set of conditions designed to birth your breakthrough, but only if you have the eyes to see it, only if you stop running and start digging, because opportunity doesn't always arrive as applause. Sometimes it arrives disguised as frustration. And that's what I'll reveal to you now. The truth you've ignored, the gift buried in the grind, and the opportunity hiding in plain sight. Let's begin. I've met thousands of men who live their lives chasing opportunity, always running toward the next thing. New job, new city, new relationship, new system, new guru. And every time they thought, this will be the one, this is what I've been waiting for. But each time the same thing happened. They found themselves right back where they started, confused, frustrated, blaming life for not delivering what they felt they deserved. And every time I asked them a simple question: what if the opportunity wasn't out there? What if it was hidden in the very thing you're trying to escape? They never saw it coming, because here's the truth most won't admit. Opportunity rarely looks like a golden door. It often looks like hard work, boredom, pain, or worse, failure. But that's where it lives, in the ordinary, in the overlooked, in the present. Let me show you. I once mentored a man who changed careers 5 times in 6 years. He was always full of excitement in the beginning, learning, exploring, feeling alive. But by month 6, the fire dimmed. He started finding problems. He blamed the culture. He questioned the mission. He thought something was missing, and he was right. But it wasn't the job. It was his unwillingness to commit to the uncomfortable. See, opportunity only emerges when you stay long enough to dig. But most people quit before they even pick up the shovel. They mistake discomfort for a sign to leave when it's actually a signal to begin. There's a psychological drug more addictive than dopamine. It's the fantasy of elsewhere. The next book, the next coach, the next platform, the next version of you. We romanticize the next chapter so much that we disrespect the one we're in. But growth doesn't happen when you start over. Growth happens when you stay long enough to see through your own resistance. And that resistance usually shows up right before the reward. There was a time in my life when I thought my environment was the problem. My city felt too small, my connections too weak, my circumstances too stagnant. So I packed up and moved, convinced a new place would solve everything. For a while I felt reborn, but 6 months later, I was facing the same internal storms. Why? Because I had changed my location, but I hadn't changed my lens. And that's when I saw it. Wherever I go, I take me with me. If I wanted something new, it had to start with how I engaged with the present, not by running, but by turning inward. You don't need to travel to find treasure. Often it's buried right under the daily grind you're trying to avoid. The job you're tired of, maybe the crucible refining your character, the relationship you take for granted, may hold the exact growth you need to become a better man, the routine that feels repetitive, maybe the rhythm that unlocks your discipline, but you'll never know unless you choose to stay and see. Here's the paradox. The harder it feels to stay, the more likely that's exactly where your growth is. Friction is a teacher. Pressure is a portal. But we treat them like enemies. We run from discomfort when we should be studying it. Opportunity doesn't hide from the strong. It hides in places the weak refuse to search. And most people spend their lives praying for a break when life is asking them to break through. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply overlooking the power of the present. You're standing on a field of gold, and you've been dreaming about someone else's treasure. Your big opportunity may be right where you are now, but only if you stop fleeing, only if you stop waiting, only if you choose to dig right here. Because the present isn't your prison, it's your portal. And the moment you decide to honor it, to squeeze every lesson from it, you will find what others spend lifetimes searching for, the treasure beneath your feet. There is a moment, subtle, quiet, almost invisible, where your entire life begins to change. Not because the world shifted, not because luck arrived, not because you finally found the perfect strategy, but because you made a single, powerful, terrifying decision to stop running and start digging. This decision, more than any talent, connection, or stroke of fortune, will determine who you become. Because it signals something deeper than motivation. It signals readiness. Readiness to face the real battlefield, your relationship with the present moment. Staying doesn't mean stagnating. It means seeing. Seeing what's been hidden in plain sight. The lessons, the leverage, the invisible scaffolding of success that only reveals itself to those with eyes to see. The truth is, you can't change what you refuse to sit with, and you can't master what you won't confront. So when you stay, you begin to transform, not because you force it, but because you stop escaping long enough to let growth take root. I remember a season when everything in me wanted to quit. The work felt redundant, the results weren't showing, the doubts were loud. I convinced myself maybe it was time for something new, a new project, a new city, a new path. But something in me whispered, what if this isn't failure? What if it's the fire that forges your next level? I stayed. I sat with the discomfort. And slowly, so slowly it was almost unnoticeable, clarity emerged. Not in a rush, not in a revelation, but in micro-realizations that changed the way I moved. I realized I hadn't hit a wall. I'd hit a mirror. And that mirror didn't need escape. It needed confrontation. When you stay in one place long enough, you begin to see it differently. What once felt like a dead end becomes a doorway. What felt like resistance becomes your gym. What looked like limitation becomes your leverage. You begin to reframe, this job is a cage, becomes, this job is my training ground. This pain is pointless, becomes, this pain is refining my character. This stillness is stagnation, becomes, this stillness is space to hear what matters. Perspective is power. And the present becomes sacred when you choose to see it differently. Before this shift, every challenge feels like a sign to run. After this shift, every challenge feels like a signal to dig. Dig into your beliefs. Dig into your patterns. Dig into what this moment is trying to teach you that comfort never could. Because the truth is, nothing is neutral. Every moment is either growing you or numbing you. When you commit to excavation, you extract the wisdom that would have stayed buried in the soil of the mundane. And wisdom is what builds empires. Not shortcuts, not hacks. Wisdom. When you stop outsourcing opportunity to the future, you take your power back from time itself. You stop saying, I'll be ready when, I'll start once, I'll go all in if, and instead you say, this is the moment. These are the tools. This is the time. You act differently. You carry yourself differently. You radiate a presence that others can feel. the energy of a person who's rooted in truth, rooted in action, rooted in a vision bigger than escape fantasies. When you choose to stay and dig, you gain what the quitters never do, clarity. Because the fog doesn't lift while you're running, resilience. Because muscles only grow under pressure, trust. Because you've proven to yourself that you won't bail when it gets hard, wisdom. Because the soil of discomfort is rich with insight, breakthrough. Because sometimes one more day of staying holds the exact key you've been chasing for years. People chase freedom, but freedom isn't the absence of pressure. It's the ability to stay in the fire until the fire frees you from the old self. If you're reading this, you're likely standing in a moment you've been tempted to leave. But I want you to hear this. The gold is rarely on the horizon. It's usually in the dirt beneath your current struggle. If you stay, if you dig, if you trust that this discomfort has something to give you, then the ordinary will become sacred. The pain will become your power. And the opportunity will no longer be distant. It will be right where it always was, beneath your feet, within your reach, inside your choice to stay. So now you've seen the illusion, the chase, the escape, the fantasy of somewhere else, and you've made a choice to stay, to dig, to confront. But the question still lingers. What do I do now, practically, to turn this place into my proving ground? Let me give you the blueprint. Not motivational fluff, not vague affirmations, but a clear, battle-tested method to extract gold from your current ground. This is how you transform your present into a source of power that compounds. Language is the lens through which we experience reality. If you keep calling your life a rut, a prison, or a pause, you will act like someone trapped. But when you shift the language, you shift the lens. This is not where I'm stuck. This is where I've been stationed. A station is purposeful. It implies mission. It implies timing. It implies preparation. You're not buried. You're planted. That mental shift unlocks the energy needed for every other step. If your big opportunity is right where you are now, you must first see what's in your hands. Most people miss their window because they're staring out another one. Sit down, pen to paper, ask, what resources do I currently have that I've undervalued? What skills am I using only at 50%? What people have I overlooked as collaborators, mentors, or bridges? What problem can I solve that no one else sees yet? Write down every answer. Don't judge it. Then circle the top 3 that give you an energetic spark. Those are your gold veins. Start digging there. People stay stuck because they lack urgency. Urgency does not mean chaos. It means focus with a clock. Set one singular, meaningful goal that would prove to yourself that this place, this time, this moment is ripe with possibility. Examples. Launch a side income stream using skills from your current job. Heal a relationship that's blocking your momentum. Write 30 pages of a book that's been buried in you. Turn your daily routine into a performance machine. Write it. Print it. Commit to it. 90 days. 0 excuses. You're not waiting for the stars to align. You're learning to move while they burn. Every moment of frustration you've felt in this place is leverage waiting to be redirected. Pain is powerful fuel when focused. Use it as proof of what no longer serves you, as insight into what must change, as contrast to amplify what you want. The job you resent, use it to fund your exit strategy. The boss who frustrates you, study his weaknesses so you never repeat them. The routine that numbs you, hack it into a ritual of discipline. This is how warriors move. They don't wait for ideal conditions. They weaponize every detail around them. Your environment shapes your identity. But you can reverse the current, shape your identity, and your environment begins to follow. Build a daily ritual that grounds your focus and primes your energy. I call this the MORE framework. Mindset, 10 minutes of journaling or mental rehearsal. Ownership, review what you're responsible for, no blame. Real work, 60 plus minutes on your 90-day target before reactive tasks. Energy, train, walk, breathe, whatever sharpens your body. This ritual doesn't just optimize your day. It anchors your belief that this place, this time, this season is sacred. Every 7 days, ask, what did I dig this week? Where did I drift? What did I discover? What needs to be removed or reinforced? This is how you convert motion into momentum. You're not floating anymore. You're constructing. You're architecting. And week by week, you start to realize, this place isn't small. It's just waiting for me to expand inside it. You're not a prisoner of your present. You're a builder standing on top of bricks no one else sees. While others run, you remain. While others scroll, you write. While others complain, you convert. This is how empires begin, not with applause, but with a man who looks at his environment and says, there's something here, and I'm the one who's going to unlock it. You are not stuck, you are stationed, and where you stand is where the kingdom begins. There's a moment in every seeker's life when the chase becomes unbearable. The search feels endless. The answers feel scattered. The motivation begins to fade, and then, quietly, something shifts. The seeker stops running. He turns around. He looks at his own 2 hands, and he whispers, what if it was never out there? What if the thing I've been chasing, the success, the clarity, the fulfillment, has always been within reach, right here, right now, right where I am? This isn't a metaphor. This isn't a feel-good idea. This is the truth that ends the cycle of self-abandonment. The man who sees his environment as a trap will act like a victim. But the man who sees his environment as a mission field will rise like a soldier. This change in vision alters everything. The same job becomes a platform. The same relationship becomes a mirror. The same pain becomes a sculptor. You stop outsourcing your greatness to someday. You start embodying it today. And in doing so, you graduate from seeker to creator. You don't chase opportunity, you create it. Most people live in delay. They pray, plan, hope, and theorize. But those who change the world, they begin with what's in front of them. They take responsibility for their reality. They stop waiting. They start creating. And the paradox is this: once you commit to the present, the future starts to rearrange itself in your favor. The people show up, the doors open, the ideas flow, not because you chased harder, but because you rooted deeper. The soil of your current life, however imperfect, became the foundation of something unshakable. If I could give you one message to etch on the walls of your soul, it would be this: you are the opportunity you've been waiting for. Not your job, not your location, not your network. You, your perspective, your decisions, your courage to dig instead of run. Because here's the universal pattern: those who keep escaping never arrive. Those who stay, see. Those who see, build. And those who build, rule. Not over others, but over themselves. And that, my friend, is the beginning of true power. You've heard the truth. You've seen the blueprint. You've been reminded of what you carry. Now it's your move. Will you keep postponing your life until conditions are perfect? Or will you turn this very moment into the birthplace of your new identity? This isn't about hustle. This isn't about force. This is about sovereignty, taking the throne of your life and ruling it with clarity, discipline, and vision. You are not a bystander. You are not a victim. You are not almost. You are the seed, the soil, and the sower. You are the field and the fire. You are the one, and you are already standing in the answer. Let that truth echo in every room you enter. Let it shape the way you speak, act, and decide. Because the next level of your life doesn't begin somewhere else. It begins here, in this place, with this mindset, with these hands. And when you honor that, you won't need to chase opportunity anymore. It will start chasing you. If you stayed until this moment, you're not ordinary, because most people click away. Most people scroll on. Most people run when the mirror gets too clear. But not you. You stayed. You listened. You remembered. And for that, I salute you. But now, what will you do? Will you file this away as another good video? Or will you use it as a blueprint to shift your life forever? Because if everything we said is true, and you are already standing in the opportunity, then this is no longer about consumption. It's about command. Subscribe to the channel. If you're building something powerful with your life, click the bell icon so the next message hits you right when you need it. Like this video, so more people wake up to what they already carry. Comment below. What will you create now that you've stopped waiting? This isn't just content. This is mental conditioning. And if you let it shape you, you'll become the kind of person who no longer begs for opportunity. You'll become the one who builds it. You're not stuck. You're stationed. Now command the mission. I'll see you at the next level.